everybody.
Hi.
It's time for having fun with J and J.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We've already had fun. We're done.
We had fun before the show.
We did.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
We have our new guest today is Tammy Spears. She is an author, a poet, and a photographer. I loved her stuff. I got to do it as usual. You guys know I get to research. Jeanette just tells me who, and I get to do the what part.
Yay.
So we've been sitting here chit-chatting and getting to know each other, and she's marvelous. So without any further ado, guys, we're going to have some more fun having fun with J and J, and I'm going to give it to my partner in crime over there.
And I disappear. I see a partner in crime and I disappear.
I know, right?
So, hey, everybody. I have a wonderful guest, and I fell in love with her stuff. I met her on a platform, and I said, I love your stuff. Can you just hop on? I would love to have you on our show. And she goes, sure. I love a person that says yes.
We like that.
Yeah, I do. Because I'm that person, because, you never know when you're missing an opportunity to really get exposure on your business. So, Tammy, how did you feel when I said, hey, you want to be on a show?
Oh, I felt amazing, and it was just another door that opened. I've met so many people on Alignable. I would recommend anybody that has a business or to connect. The connections are amazing on Alignable. I've met a lot of people there and have been able to expand and grow because of that channel. If you're able, align with Alignable.
I like that. I like
a commercial.
She got her little
I know.
in there.
I'm like, wait a minute, is this an Alignable show? Okay.
But Alignable, sometimes people think it's just for like what
that's
we call
my creative spirit, you guys.
Yeah.
She just used our line.
Okay.
That's it, Jenny. We gotta hire her.
You're in.
You're in. So okay, so we saw your business and we said we got to find out the history on it. So I always ask, what got you into your business? How did you start it?
Well, I became the author first of 2 inspirational poetry books that I wrote in memory of my mom, and I just expanded on that and thought, I can make items with these poems, and I have a lot of ideas that I want to do down the road too, like greeting cards. I did balloons. I do laser engraved crafts. I have a local businessman that does that for me. They can be personalized with the loved one's name, date, for birthday, wedding, graduation's coming up, Mother's Day's coming up. I have 3 great nieces and nephews that are graduating at the end of the month, and he's done this cutout for me of a graduation hat with the diploma at the bottom and has my poem on it, Hats Off to You. And on the back, I'm putting their picture and the date that they're graduating, just something that reflects them. One nephew is a football player. My niece is a cheerleader, and the other one, he does media for his local church. So I've incorporated that on the plaques as well. But just a wide range of ideas. I loved being the entrepreneur of this poetry side of my writing. So
which book was first? The
first one was called Flutter of an Eye. That was written in memory of my mom, and both books, that's the other thing that I like about them. The actual title of the book is the first poem in the book, dedicated to her. And if you had the opportunity, which I think you did a little bit, to look at that, you'll see why. Flutter of an Eye was written for her in her passing, and the first poem reflects that. Fluttering On is how we're fluttering on without her, and she's still fluttering on within us, even though she's not here. So
I'm trying to pull up her because she's done one of my favorite things. She's taken her work and she's starting to merchandise them. And it's really important for especially authors, but any, in fact, Jeanette was messing around last year right before Easter. And she went to a little painting.
Oh, yeah.
And she did a bunny, I call it the bunny butt. She did a little fence with a bunny hopping over, and you just see
that's awesome.
Ears.
Yeah.
And I put it on a mug for her.
Yeah.
Because we're in a great time for people, and you can sell your book, you can sell your merch, and our biggest thing is to get creators to start living off of their art, whatever it is, whatever.
That would be amazing.
That's our goal. So when we talk to creators like you, we want to make sure that, and you've already done part of it, which is awesome, with the taking the poetry separate and putting it on items. And is that behind you? Is that the
Oh, absolutely is.
Oh yes, show and tell.
So this is one of the plaques.
Isn't that pretty?
It's a mother. Of course, this is for a mother that's no longer here.
Yeah.
People, Mother's Day is coming. Wouldn't this be a beautiful gift? What does it say? Can you read it to us?
I sure can. So it spells mother on the left-hand side here, and at the top says mother, and I just put a little thing about my mother. Missing you so very much. On our minds today, and remembering the love you gave to all of us. Heaven bound, our angel above, we send to you our everlasting love, remembering our mother and the memories we made on this special day. And you can actually have your mother's picture, or you and your mother's picture here engraved. This is just a general picture. That's not my mother. I'll show you another one with her on it. And you could put dates. They can put names. They can be personalized any way possible, these plaques. And he does such a good job. This is the one with the tree bark. That's my favorite. We do have others that, this one I painted. This is my poem called Get Well Wishes. And I just realized when I pulled this plaque out that this didn't go in the second book. So guess what? This will go in my final book, because I plan to do a third book called The Final Flutter. So that'll be 3 to the sequel. Flutter of an Eye is fluttering on, and then the final flutter will be my last one for that sequel. So I also have this one. This is her picture here. That's my mother there, that you could see in the first part of the book when you've seen it. And this is a poem called Take Me With You. And I use this now at funerals. Instead of sending flowers, I personalize it with the loved one's picture and put either the poem Take Me With You or Impact, because both of those can be used for that.
As a memorial thing, as a memory.
Yeah, and it's something personalized that you don't, flowers, they're beautiful and all, but they don't last. So
it's funny. I don't know if you've done this, but when my daughter got married, my mother was no longer with us, and her other grandfather on her dad's side wasn't with us, and we did a little memorial table for them.
See, yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
So you might, put that out there too, because a lot of the couples are doing that for especially moms and dads that aren't able to be at the wedding.
Right. Personal touch.
That would be a great thing to do. That's awesome.
Awesome idea. Yeah, absolutely. And then I have something, Jeanette, that you would be interested in.
Okay.
As well, one of the plaques. And I'm out of my t-shirts, I'm sorry to say, but I do t-shirts as well that have the flag on them with the military poems. And this one's called Salute a Soldier. So this is actually my grandfather from, he was in the Army. It says Salute a Soldier. That's a Salute a Soldier poem. But I also have 3 additional poems now that I wrote in my Fluttering On book called Freedom Flies High, Stars and Stripes, and Memorial Day. So Memorial Day is coming up. And that one will be posted as well on my social media, but any of them can be put, and you can put the date that they served on here, their name, that's his picture from the military. My dad, I have a lot of people in my family that served. My dad was so proud. He just was a reserve, but in the Marines, but he was proud of that. My uncle was in the Navy. My other uncle was in the Army. My husband's grandfather was in the Army. So just a wide dedication to those that serve. So
you can have a wall of valor for all of your.
I know, right?
Members.
I had 3 uncles. My father and my mother was a WAC. My father was a sergeant, and I had 3 uncles in Vietnam. So it's like, I come from a city.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have my grandpa was World War I. He met my grandma. She was a nurse who nursed him, World War I. I had My dad had like 7 brothers. They were all military. One was killed training accident in Petaluma.
Oh, wow.
And my father was a POW in Korea for 3 years. All my other uncles were Navy. My son-in-law's Navy. My husband is Navy. So, and one of the guys that does our cartooning, does our pens. He's Army, right?
Yeah, Army, 38 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and we have a lot of military people who use it for, for a business, but also a lot of them use it for therapy.
Right.
They use it to help them have a little side gig,
Mm-hmm.
So we're very respectful, and we're very aware of all the sacrifices and the contributions that the members of the military have given our country. So
absolutely,
that's a wonderful thing.
Very deserved of it. And here's one of the bags. I actually have the bag with the salute.
I saw your bags, and I saw your coffee cup. Beautiful.
Yeah. So
those are great 4th of July things.
Absolutely. I go to craft shows too, you guys, and I do probably 3 or 4 a year, and take my items with me, my books and my items, and that's the way I make a little extra, as you're saying, trying to promote your business. So I do that every year, and I meet a lot of great people that way too, and I enjoy doing it. So
that's the best way to meet people, is actually, just going out there and doing the vending events. I did one all the time in Texas, every Saturday from the break of dawn to at least 1 o'clock in the afternoon, because after that they had to cut it because of the hot weather.
Right. You did it every week? Wow.
Every Saturday, right there in Mansfield farmers market, and it wasn't expensive. I made the rent all the time because of people buy the products and things like that. I was selling a whole bunch of stuff. I wasn't as structured as it is today. I was just making stuff for my mental health too as well. Now, Tammy, were you in the service too?
I was not. No, I was not.
Okay. I wanted to ask that first, but yeah, I was always selling, and it was nice that I got to meet all these other vendors, and it's nice to go now to the places and just see everybody do their thing. I'm now structured into my clocks and other things, but
they're beautiful. I've seen them. Yeah.
But yeah, so I can't wait. I mean, you have a lot of stuff on there. Do you do any plaques for like live moms, like for Mother's Day coming up?
My poems, I think there might be a couple in the book that would be universal. I have a lot of poems in both books that are universal, but the mother ones were basically dedicated to my mom. But I think there might be one in there, but possibly 2, but 1 for sure.
So when you say that it's your last book, are you going to do another series of maybe another type of subject matter? Or
that I don't know yet, because the focus is right now on the 3rd book, but I do know, like you, there's a couple of poems in here that would be worthy of doing a children's book.
Yeah.
One being about my dog. A couple of them about my dog. So here's
one of
one of the plaques called Furry Friend.
Oh.
Yeah, but there's there's a couple of them that I would like to do, and actually there was in England, I think it was Macmillan that was interested in doing it, but as you say, the funding, and they wanted to do it with the marketing package, and my 2 books were done without the marketing.
I can help you with that, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I haven't thus far.
We are always saving people from spending so much money, because we care. We literally care about our vendors, and we like to advertise for them. And then Jenny does these cute commercials that I'm about to show.
Have you show your book?
Pardon me?
Show your book. Where's your book?
Oh, yeah.
Jeanette, your book.
Her book.
Oh, Evelyn got it.
Oh. Now, what did you write about?
Hold on.
Mine is The Girl and Her Moon. It's about actually a true story about myself. I was raised Catholic, so I wasn't, I always prayed to the stars and the moon.
Okay.
And it's about, I made it fictional, non-fictional. It's a story about me, but I kind of made now the moon talking to her, which represents the Holy Spirit and her life.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's a girl and her moon. I'll get it. I know we got to see you. I'll go get it when she starts talking about her book,
I
because I
know.
love Milo and Jack and Milo.
Well, this is my woman's journal.
Oh, I have that one.
So this one is I took quotes from other women and I wrote a few things. It's just a place for women to just kind of keep in their car or whatever. And if they're feeling, because journaling is good, but I'm not a good journaler because I never have time. So I wanted something
all
that,
busy, right?
you know, I'm not one of those, like Jeanette can write, like she writes, and I think I'm going to write and then I don't. But I just created this little thing for my women, so they could jot down. And then this is my kids book.
Oh,
But,
I did see that online. I believe Jack and Milo. Yes.
But this is self-published, so I especially kids books. They're actually harder than other books because you have the illustrations. Where's your book?
I got right here.
So that book, turn it just tilt it this way.
There's a chair.
Yeah, no, put it in front of you, but tilt it because of it's glared.
Oh, it is. There it is.
Okay, so
and what's yours called?
When she did her cartooning for the channel, I said that's going to make a great book, and of course, that's what we did. So,
wow.
So
the moon is actually a cartoon on the TV.
Now it's a cartoon on the channel, but we turned it into a book.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Like I said, it's a story about me being small, but fiction, nonfiction. So it's a story about me praying to the moons and stars. But now in the story, the moon is talking to me back and I have a mission. So it's really good. I don't want to spoil the ending, but it's really, really good. People see
this is an activity book that I made. It's got all kinds of things for them to color, to learn, you know, to count.
Beautiful butterflies.
Kind of thing. So yeah, if you do another book, it's much simpler than it seems. And the marketing package that they're going to sell you is not going to guarantee you can spend $15,000 with them. That's what they wanted. My book, $15,000.
Yeah, I was looking around too, just to get familiar with stuff. And let me tell you something. One person wanted to charge me almost $7,000. I said, if I had that kind of money, you think I would be giving it away? I mean, I can do it myself. So, and then Jenny, I'm like, well, you know what? We did it, and it was less than that. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Never mind. I'm staying with Jenny. So
I mean, it's like everything else that you do. It's who you speak with. It's connections. Nothing's overnight.
I like that it has busy bookstores in the corner.
Yeah,
you know?
That's fine. So everything that you're doing is really, I mean, they do things like they send out, like they send out announcements and press releases and stuff like that. But you could go to your local newspaper, probably get the same, it's just you have to do it. That's the difference. Right. But you can go to local bookstores and I started my second one like during COVID, which was terrible because nobody was doing anything. I had bookstores that were going to let me do book show, do book sales there. And of course, no one was doing anything. So, we really, Jeanette are trying to get people out there without none of us have any money. It's not like, we're like, oh, I've got $1 bazillion. I'm just going to lay back and just make some crafts.
And you get so excited when somebody calls you and you say, so right now I'm just upfront when they call me and I say, I'm going to be very honest with you. Right off the bat, I just tell them, I said, my budget is very low. So then when they tell you, oh, okay. And then, they reach out all the time. And like you said,
platform, I look at them, I'm going, seriously?
They're very flattering. They tell you that, your book is great. And when you're a first-time author, and you get that book in the mail, I know when Jeanette got her book, she was like, I got my book. It's so cool.
I was so happy.
So they feed off that. But it's just, it takes time. And, there are very few, even very, very celebrities and politicians that are out there that have the bully pulpit, like they can talk
Right.
about it all the time. They don't even have that many sales. So the fact that you're cross marketing is really what we want to do.
Yeah.
To pull the book in with the mugs, and you could start doing little poems like for Mother's Day, have Mother's Day mugs.
Mm-hmm.
She has a great idea. I sometimes have a problem with her just coming up with all these ideas because her brain does not shut off for anything. It keeps going even in her sleep. She should just sleep with a tape recorder. I mean, really, her brain just does not stop. That's how we got this far, because her brain will not stop.
And she wants to grow, and she's going to find a way. That's how I am. And once I'm done working,
I have a notebook with her ideas. I'm like,
remember I told you I don't keep notes. She does.
Yeah, I'm the one that keeps the notes.
I can tell you guys that I went as far as Shark Tank on one of my ideas one time, and they did call, but unfortunately I didn't have the item, and I needed their help to get the item. That was the goal, and it didn't go anywhere, but I got that far with it. So
did you get on the show?
They called me to get on the show, and then when I said, well, I don't have the item, I need help with the idea to get the item, and then that's where
yeah, they want it.
They did call.
Do that. Yeah, they want you to do the
everything has to be done before you go on, and yeah.
But I will tell you that Mark Cuban, when he made his picks, he basically went bankrupt with the ones he picked. So don't feel so bad.
Oh. I mean, just can't get myself to do. I don't like the bankrupt word.
Well, he let's put it this way. He was not. I don't know if it was his picks or how they did their. It's always, business is tough, but it doesn't happen overnight. And if you're a crafter and a visionary, that type of thing, it's even harder.
Yeah.
First of all, we're like cats in a room full of rocking chairs. We go from one thing to another because everything's fun to do.
Exactly.
But your books are beautiful. Your poetry is really lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your cross market. How is your family? Like, are they really supportive of it? Do they go, you're doing that again?
With the first one, yeah, gung ho, and then like now I haven't shared, but I'm going to share this link, of course, when I'm done. But it's like you can tell by feedback if it's not. And I thought I'm going to keep going. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Yeah, they were very supportive with the first one, and they were with the second. But yeah, it's different than it was the first time around.
Yeah.
Jen, we've come across that. People think we're nuts. That's okay.
No, it's our passion. When you have a passion, you're going to do it. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's your passion. Yeah, absolutely. No.
I always said that. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and see these fantastic commercials. When people go on our network, I mean, they get an ad that she makes. And one of the ads was introduction, to our new Creative Spirit commercial. You saw that one. But here's a cute one that it's about me. And then we'll show another one about Enter the World of one of our vendors. And then when we come back, we're going to be still talking with Tammy Spears. So thank you for watching. We're going to be back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. you, there's no stopping.
I love those commercials.
It's like I'm jamming. I'm like,
I know.
I'm like always. I'm like sometimes I make mistakes because I get involved in the music and in the commercials because Jenny does a great job. I'm like, I like
an amazing job.
Thank you. I was looking for your so you're on Etsy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I need to revamp that site a little bit.
You need to work on your site, but
yeah.
I found your mugs, your photography, your books, your bags. What else am I missing? So when you do your photography, are you putting them on canvas?
Yes, I have put them on canvas with the poem. Yes.
Okay.
I'll take and incorporate a picture with the poem. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And are you planning on doing any more merch on this stuff? Are you gonna do you do it just straight up at Etsy? Do you have like a Shopify, or how are you?
I don't have a Shopify. Is that something that you can get on your own? Do they charge you for it?
The way well, we have two things to tell her, right, Jeanette?
Yeah,
so Shopify is a dropship company. They do a great job. They've done my mugs, and I've done some things for other things where I use it. I also have another dropship that this way you don't have to buy merchandise. So you create the design, and you set it up, and then when they order through whatever, you could do it through Etsy, or you can have a Shopify account, but you connect them to Etsy, and then you can drop ship it, and then you only pay when it's being sold. So you can create whatever designs you want, whatever product you want. You can do blankets. Like I would think for you, blankets would be a good one because people like to have that.
I have a blanket that with a verse on it, a Bible verse on it, and that is my favorite blanket. Someone, one of my vendors actually became real close to me. Her name is Joyce, and she got a blanket for me, and it was so beautiful. I was like,
so there's different products you can do, and then we have Jeanette will probably show that commercial later, but we have a young man that was on our show. He has a it's a smaller site. He just started. It's called Subsidy. And you can do the same thing with that. He charges after, so he doesn't charge to set up. He doesn't charge to be on his platform, but he charges a small percentage when you sell. And then I know, and he does my books.
I'm a member of his. I got my books there and my clocks there, and so does Jenny. So when we tell you about we would never tell you something that we're not using ourselves.
Right. Oh, great.
Yeah, we always use it, and it's been very nice to have.
What I'm thinking too, we haven't spoken to him in a while because I think his mom was sick.
Right.
And so he's been out of the kind of the business part of his business. But he, what I'm thinking, Jeanette, for her is it's called Music Legacy, right?
Yep.
International.
Yes.
And you can go on there as a, just in their like chat. It's like a chat room, or it's like a community, but they have a lot of musicians, and you write poetry.
Right.
And you know what? That is one thing that I had said that I would love for it to go to music. I went as far as you guys. I'll tell you a little story.
His name is from Music Legacy. Just, I mean, I'm on the platform too. I'm all over the place, and I love that they send me like monthly, like I get the singers of the month, and I get to hear their music. And if I like it, I think last week we had our one of the singers. Where is it?
Gospel. We had Born Again.
Yeah. And he was on there, and they get to be on
Anthony.
Anthony Smith.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful because I get to listen, and if I like him, I could tell him, hey, come on our show, because we could take singers too. See, the creative spirit is anything that makes you create, and singers, authors, poets, that's all creative spirit. They all, this is art that comes within us. Everybody has a gift. That's what I think.
Absolutely.
But I'm, she gets in the community, She can put out that she's a poet, and then someone who's looking for lyrics who maybe has the music but doesn't have the words, you guys can collaborate.
Absolutely. That would be amazing. I would love to do that. I actually met a country star virtually probably 7 years ago. And for me meeting him virtually through a radio station, I called his label and I asked if I could send my book. And I did. To her, I said, I'll give you a free one as well. So yeah, that is the goal someday. I like country music. I like all kinds, light rock, a lot of different genres, but country is my favorite, and country is rhyming its poems. All country songs are that way. So it would be amazing to be able to, connect with somebody that would be,
So that's kind of that's how people get, it's like Alignable. It's the same thing. We also have Spark Up Biz, which kind of came from that. She's another one that you can join her platform for pretty much nothing.
What is it?
It's called Spark Up Biz.
Yes.
Spark Up Biz.
First. Now, I didn't put her on. I'm gonna put her on in a few because she has a high rock and roll song. She wants attention. Okay.
Yes.
Her attention seeker.
It's a networking platform.
Yes, but
wow.
And they have it's free. There's a free version, and then even the one that you pay for is like $20 a month or something.
$20.
Yeah, that's economical. Yeah.
Yeah, if you wanna join. And they have like
classes. They have the academy.
Yeah.
They have networking for women. We're on there too. I mean, every platform we're telling you we're on.
We're on.
My gosh, you guys don't get much rest, do you?
No, I don't. I don't. No, I don't. But usually by this time I give the word of the day. But today I decided to do 5 inspirational business quotes.
Okay.
So here's the first one. Okay.
Right.
I always surprise her with the things on it. She don't know what to expect from me ever. So okay. The great thing in this world is not so much where you stand as in one direction you are moving.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Define success on your own terms, achieve it by your own rules, and build a life you're proud to live.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's number 2, right? 3 more? Okay. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out.
Right.
All right. If you focus on success, you'll have stress. But if you pursue excellence, success will be guaranteed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one for today's devotional motivational quotes. Never regard study as a duty, but as the invaluable opportunity to learn.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Always be open for anything.
All right. Right. Those are my motivational quotes of business.
You know what? It's funny that the thing that's been sticking in my mind for the last week, I was listening to someone talk about Lot and Lot's wife. And I'm not really, I'm Catholic, so we don't go into the Bible stories so much as other Christians, but they were talking about yeah. She about the fact that God told her not to look back.
Yeah.
And when you apply it to business, constantly we're looking over our shoulder and saying, what did we do wrong? We're always trying to catch ourselves, and we're looking back instead of forward. And when you apply it to business, it's the same thing. So everyone's going to make a mistake. I'm sure that when you wrote your poems.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You learned from the first book, and I thought you would make mistakes with the second one using a different publisher. No, you learned at each avenue.
and even if you go to a publisher, there's going to be issues. And I've edited books for people, and I've gone through them, and I thought I caught everything, and I'll be darned. I'm like, are you kidding me? How did you miss that? So, and there's always someone that's going to say to you, oh, you don't want to do that, or there's not going to be any money in that, or you can't, you know, you
That's
can't.
not why I did it. I didn't
Right.
do it for the money. I didn't do it. I did it for inspiration for others to.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And if you know, if you get joy out of it, and if you share it with other people, we have so many wonderful people that we've met, Jeanette and I, on this journey.
Unique too. Like I still think about DJ Vision. This I think Jenny says it best. Jenny, you gotta describe this character because he is amazing. He was in the corporate world making corporate big money, and something in life told him get out. And he quit his job, packed his stuff, and moved to Georgia. And from Chicago, I think it was, right, Jenny?
Yeah, he was like into really heavy government work, like trafficking and like the really stuff. And so he just had it fed up, and he moved to this rural part of Georgia, and
Bought land in a house.
he bought a house in Atlanta. It had water through it, and it also has beavers. Apparently, Georgia is overrun with these rodents, and so he would tear down their dams, and they would not like it, and they would go back and build another one.
Yeah, that's what they did.
So he decided he's never had a lick of art, right? He said he never thought about anything, but he started to, as he pulled the wood out that had the little beaver gnawing on it, that teeth marks, he started to create rustic home decor products.
Yeah.
Like
home hangers,
walking sticks, and candle holders, and what we call the and so
jewelry. Now he's doing
jewelry. And so we had to laugh because we were thinking, like, he must like these beavers. It's like, nah, I'll harvest them when I can. I'm like, our other beaver guy was like, oh my God, that's my mascot.
And no, what's so funny, I like what Jenny says. She goes, this is free labor. I mean, you don't have to chop down the wood. He picks up the stick, break their dams, and they build it all over.
Literally no overhead. All of his raw materials are
free. Yeah.
They create, like, he doesn't do anything. Like he may sand a little bit, but all of the marks are from the beaver in at the wood.
Wow.
So he doesn't like use a lathe or any kind of woodworking. He just, and I thought, what a deal. And of course he still doesn't really like the beavers, but hey, you gotta like.
Right, he's doing something out of it.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so funny. And our beaver guy, he's like our
we have two beaver guys.
Yeah, we got two beaver guys. And he makes these beautiful exotic pins with wood. And I mean, he has a show. You can see him actually working the wood and putting the pins together and everything. And I mean, he got it down packed, and it was beautiful because he used it as a coping mechanism, and it turned out to be the best for him. The mayor in his city brought like 12 of them, a dozen. You know how these how do you call the government people? They buy pens to say,
yeah, they pass them out for marketing. Yeah,
so he does that. So it was wonderful, and then we've seen him grow too with us. He's been with us since the beginning.
Yeah, he does the cartoons.
He makes the cartoons of Whimsy Woods cartoon with Gus and Wilma and all farm animals. I mean, we have not because it's us. Anyway, it is wholesome, good cartoons every Saturday at 8:00 in the morning.
Wow.
So you never know. We might see some of your stuff somewhere.
Awesome.
One of the things that I like to do, which Jenny is, I do cartoons too. I do the Craftville cartoons. So welcome to Craftville, where Jenny and I visit our vendors. So we have made cartoons when the members that are part of the creative spirit, we've made them into cartoons that me and Jenny go to the store to go visit them in cartoons. And Jenny loves these vendors get tickled pink when they see themselves as a cartoon.
Oh, wow.
What? You I just, then Jenny even goes, "Hey, I'm a sexy cartoon. I want to keep
I know. She may be like 20 years younger.
Sexy as a cartoon as in person, right?
I'm like, I like that. There's no granny to that girl.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
So Tammy, that's we're so glad that you're with us today. And people don't understand actually to poetry,
Mhm.
it's not easy.
No,
It,
it's
No.
not.
it's
But
actually harder to write than to write because you have to use prose and you have to use syntax, and you have to figure out what you're trying to say and do it in a way that is working in a fluid manner. And it's I mean, have you always written poetry?
that's where this all started. After she passed in '07, my mother, I was writing articles to the newspaper for her birthday and for the day of her passing. I would write them every year. And then on the 10th anniversary of her passing in 2017, good Lord above said, "You're writing, you can do this." And I kid you not, you guys, because that connection, I just started writing and I didn't stop. And
Wow.
I get a thought, and how I do my writing of my poetry is I get a thought, and it's deep thought, deep down in your soul actually is thinking of things. And then that's when if you get an idea, you just got to hurry up, get out, jot it down, and go from
Yeah.
there. Most
Or
of my
use
poems,
it.
believe it or not, a lot of people say, "Well, do you write a verse down here or there and then go back to it?" When somebody said that, one of my relatives said that to me, I hadn't really done that, because when it starts flowing, I just write the whole thing. It basically
And
just
you
comes.
can't really interrupt that because it
No,
changes
no.
the whole
It
dynamic
changes.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I have done a few that way, but mostly they're written out completely when I get it. So.
I've written stuff, and I don't know if Jeanette's done this, but I've written stuff, and I do short stories that I actually don't publish, but I've written a lot of short stories, and I lost one of them.
Mm.
Couldn't find it, and I tried to recreate it. I tried to get the main points that I wanted to. You can't do it.
No. Mm-mm.
It's
No.
almost impossible. And I found the old one. I managed to find the old one because I don't throw away anything like that. But and Jeanette journals.
Oh, I've been
I
journaling
was
since
telling you,
I was
she
a child.
journals. So it's really true what you're saying, that
Mhm.
if you're in and there's times you can't write.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
there's times that you think I'm gonna go write, and it doesn't come.
Yeah. No, I actually don't do that. It comes when I have the thought, and then I go with it, and I just
Just
yeah.
good.
Yeah, no, there's not, like, I can't sit here, like, after talking to you guys, go out and sit there and sit quiet and say, "Oh, I'm gonna write this." No, unless I'm in deep thought and I have a vision of something. It comes when you really think deep within. That's when all of my poetry, and when you read it, you would understand that it does come from deep within. And actually, the back of it, poetry comes from deep within. That is where the story begins. Poetry is a form of art that touches your heart and soul right from the start. Whether spoken, written, or in a song, poetry brings you in and takes you along. That's a actual poem that I wrote, poetry.
And
Wow,
we don't have poets too much anymore.
but I
They
know you don't.
Yeah.
we have the old style poets that used to, in school we used to take them apart and
Yeah. I grew up in the library, and
I
my
did too, kind of. I did too.
elementary school, I would go to the library, and they always had storytelling, and the lady always had a puppet in her hand and reading
Oh.
a book,
Hmm.
and I loved it. My mother did not have no doubt. She says, Ginecita's in the library. She'll come back when it's over. Because she had the librarian's phone number. She goes,
Oh,
go to there. Goes, yes, can you please tell her to come home for dinner? Okay.
you know what? I have one daughter that she goes to the movies, but the other daughter is a reader. And
mhm.
I love bookstores. I could wander around for days, and she's the same way. If we travel anywhere, the first place she goes is to like an independent bookstore.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's so good to see people still, even with all of the digital stuff, to have a book in hand.
I have a niece that's like that, that's getting ready to graduate. She's the one that's graduating, and she's high honors. She's just her mom used to read to her and her brother growing up. And
Makes
yeah,
a
she's
difference.
very, very
Makes a
intelligent.
difference when you invest in your child and you read to them. It takes them to places that they never.
Mhm. She did. Yeah, she did.
I heard a really sad, can't remember what age this was, because I get confused on who's Gen Z and Gen X and Gen W or whatever they are. But this gal said she had 2 degrees.
Oh.
Could not spell.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Because they're raised with spell check.
Mm. Wow.
And so no matter what they wrote, they'd run it through spell check and they wouldn't know. But I still find that fascinating because they're not really reading then, I don't think. Because you have you have to know as you're reading to spell.
Yeah.
So
it's like counting change though with the new generation.
yes.
Oh man. Yeah.
I mean, Jeanette's book, my book, we have another gal that reads the kids' books. I think your poetry would be, if you ended up doing for kids would be great. Like Dr. Seuss was
right.
Was one of the leading voices in children's literature, and it was always poetry. I don't think anybody hasn't read at least 1 or 2. And The Grinch was obviously a big one, but kids really need that ground.
They do.
They have it.
Right.
It's just not.
Yeah, I do have a few in here, and as you're saying this, and I'm thinking about you, and you're talking about kids. I did write one for my niece in here called "Swing High to the Sky," so I remember that. That would be one. Yeah.
You know what? The kids aren't allowed to swing on those swings that high anymore. They get.
We used to touch a tree. We tried to go way high. Yeah.
Did the swing set used to come up off the ground?
Exactly.
The back end, like if you got high enough, it goes boink.
Yep.
And you go, oops, I better not go any farther.
Yep.
I had a lot of fun tonight, you guys. This was amazing, and I appreciate all of your feedback.
We always have fun, and we're just I'm hoping that I'll have you in the bookstore. Everybody check her book out. She's at Etsy. She's at Instagram.
Where can we find you? Yeah, put on. Where can we find you and stuff like that? Go ahead
and find me on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn.
I friended you on X. Hold on. And I know you're on Instagram, but you're under another name, I think.
Quality Cut 16.
Quality Cut 16.
That's my email, part of my email.
Quality Cut 16. She's a beautiful butterfly. And then I think I found you. Okay, so on X, where are you at?
Same thing. It'd be Quality Cut.
Yeah, I friended you on that. X is actually getting to be a better. They get a lot of views on it. That's for sure. So if you're looking to do it, open an X account, go into authors, put yourself in there. You don't have to be political. You can just, be there as an author. Are you on LinkedIn?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
And you talking about being on other platforms? You can be on other platforms too.
Have you guys ever heard of artskeeper.org?
Let me see it. I'll put it up. Artskeeper.
Check that one out. You guys can put art and books. It's not just books. It's I connected with them on Alignable too. The gentleman that runs that.
Like it.
Artskeeper.com.
.org. Org.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
And the author show is something that the authors can go to for a free interview. YouTube. Take advantage of that. Rick Anthony has a podcast that I have been a part of for 2 years now. He was on our local radio station. He was a DJ. He's been a DJ his whole life, and he retired a couple years ago. And my husband happened to be in there. I play radio contests, something. a fact. I play radio contests quite often, and my husband went to pick my win up, and he was there, and he says, my wife is an author, and she would love to do that. He said, I'll reach out to her at the first of the year, and ever since then, I have been doing podcasts with him on a regular basis, and he actually calls me his staff poet, and you can, yeah.
That's awesome. We'll have to get them on the show, Jeanette.
Yeah. I was thinking of being on his show too.
No kidding.
Yeah, absolutely. Reach out to him, you guys. He's looking, and he's on Alignable. He just signed up within the last 4 months. He wasn't on Alignable, and then he did do it. So he's out there, and I'll be talking to him again in July to do a show.
Yeah, I will join up, and we'll have to contact him because I'm going to be starting a podcast too. So
absolutely, get some tips from he knows the industry. He's been doing it for a very long time.
Awesome.
Yeah, he sounds
Who
great.
else? Who else?
This is what we're saying, guys. Never stop sharing.
Right.
Because and don't think that you're being in a competition with people. Because
I don't. No.
At first glance, people might say, "Oh, well, that's like competing with you." No, it's not.
Mm-mm.
Everybody's doing their own thing, and everybody can complement each other.
Right.
So if you know somebody, that person may know somebody, and then that's how it works.
Another site I'm on, you guys, is I'm trying to think way back when BookTrib. I think I paid a small fee when I got on board with them, and but it's on there. It'll be on there till as long as they're in business. Booktrib.com, TRIB.
Yep, there you are.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Trib.
BookTrib. Yep, BookTrib.
Who else? When I come across you guys, I will connect. I'll reach out to you and share. You are on Alignable as well, Jenny? Because I know Jeanette is. I'm connected to her.
I'm on there as
she's on there. Having fun with J&J's on there. The Creative Spirit is on there. My company's on there. I think your busy Eve is on there.
I'm on as Evenest. EVENEST. EVENEST is the women's platform.
Okay.
So we're on Alignable, and
share with me, you guys, anything you want, and I'll help when I can. You have a question about anything at all, just let me know, and I would be glad to share with you. I'm actually trying to refer. Who else did I interview with recently? Dr. Felicia Lindsay. She was doing authors, but my podcast hasn't been posted yet. I did it with her a couple weeks ago, so I'm not quite sure what's.
So let's go ahead and say our goodbyes, and then don't go anywhere, Tammy. We'll see you backstage. Okay. We're gonna say, because I have to put on the rest of the commercials for you.
Oh, okay. We're almost done.
Yeah, I'll wait.
So anyway, thank you, everybody, and
thank you, everybody. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you for letting me showcase my business. I appreciate it, you
Love
guys.
it.
That is
You guys are awesome.
Pleasure. Okay, hold on, and
I'm ready
for these commercials. Okay, hold on.